Hey, John Kavakis here with a recap on our 143rd weekend show, the Sunday show. After a long weekend visiting museums and having great fellowship, we all went to the show on Sunday morning at 7:30. Here's what it looked like. The show is held at the Union Hall on Joliet Road, right across the street from the Holiday Inn, where the 143rd show usually is. All the helpers for the booth enter at 7:30 a.m. A little chilly outside. We usually have to wait. And then setup begins. We had a lot of help. We had several new faces and some old familiar faces as well. Starting from the left, we got John Stiles seated, Randy Schultz. Right behind him is John Merritt, came out for the first time this year. Behind John is Tom Kinney. Then we got two new friends, Julie and Rob Morrison, and I'm standing there on the end. So we normally have 5 tables in the booth. Brooklyn's there, Goldvarg, you'll see all these pictures. GLM is there as well. But we have to get all the models out, put them on the table, and take them out of the boxes. That's Tom Kinney starting to unbox some of the models. Everybody pitches in on setup. That's Rob Morrison taking some models out of the boxes. And once we get everything set up, the booth is looking pretty good. Brooklyn's always very generous. Has some Brooklyn swag there. Applications for the Brooklyn Collectors Club, some T-shirts and videos. And here's the models. This is the Brooklyn display here. Of course, the star attraction at the booth was the Packard Caribbean. It really got a lot of attention. This was just a prototype, but a lot of people stopped by and took a look at it. That's going to be a great model. There's some more Brooklyns, some collector's items there. Brooklyn sent a show special. We had the limited edition Pierce Arrow there at a very special price. Still have 2 left if you're interested in one. GLM and Stamp and Goldvarg are always very generous with new releases and prototypes. They send them to us so you guys can get a look at them before they come out. And there's some really neat stuff there. A couple more Goldvargs, a few EMCs. And then we have a large selection of GLMs. Already got some people coming in. They do let people come in for early admission, $25 extra. The serious collectors come in early, but look at all those GLMs. Some really neat stuff in there, stuff you don't normally see from them. They're very wide selection of models. And then we had some promos. We were trying to give away the promos during the show and having a rough time getting people to take them. It says a lot about the promo market right now. I'll give you another look at the Caribbean prototype here and some of the other items in the display. Here are the Goldvargs and the GLM stamps. In the top row, we got a 58 Cadillac from Stamp, 59 Lincoln convertible from GLM. We got a hearse from Stamp. Sergio sent the 76 Oldsmobiles, the 76 Catalinas, and the 1949 Oldsmobile Woody Wagon. Fantastic looking models. Buzz Kirkle from Route 66 Models was there, and matter of fact, he agreed to talk with us for a few minutes.
Here we are at the Countryside Show, and I'm talking to the legendary Buzz Kirkle, Route 66 Models. If you've been involved in 143, you know about Buzz. Now, Buzz, you've been in business for how long?
Been in the model car business, or started as a hobby, but probably about 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
And you have exclusive rights to several different lines, don't you?
Yeah, we're the exclusive dealer for Conquest, Madison, Highway Travelers, and Western models.
Wow, and I've seen some fantastic models come out of those. Is that your doing? Are you just demanding on what you have? Because I've seen some of the models and the interiors are fantastic. The finish is fantastic. Do you have a lot of say-so in that?
I do. Unfortunately, the plant is in England that makes the models, but so I can't be on site to really keep an eye on them. But I nag them as much as possible to keep getting the quality up, and do things the way we want it.
Well, it works. Now, I've heard rumors that you have a collection of 1/1 models. Full-size cars. Is that true?
That's not a rumor. That's true.
Now, we're a little bit limited on time, but you can give us an idea of what you have, because I know that it's a pretty extensive list.
Well, my taste is I like cars from the 50s and 60s primarily, and I like cars that are a little bit different. Chevys and Fords are fine, but I like things people don't always see at the shows. Like I have a 58 Pontiac, 59 Edsel Corsair.
Now, wait a minute. On the Pontiac, it's like a Bonneville, right?
Well, I'm sorry, I left that out. The most important thing, it's not made in America. It was one that was made in Canada.
Parisian.
So it's a Parisienne.
Yeah.
Yes, that's one of 759 convertibles that they built. And then I have the 59 Edsel Corsair convertible. They made about 1,200 of those.
Wow.
And 1960 Edsel Ranger convertible.
And that has a name.
That is Little Buttercup
There you
because
go.
it's
Yep.
Buttercup yellow.
Yep.
And they only made 76 convertibles for the 1960 model year.
Yeah.
And only 2 in Buttercup yellow. So mine
Wow.
is one of 2.
Yeah.
And I have 1963 Studebaker GT Hawk and a 64 Buick Wildcat, 64 Buick Estate Wagon, and 65 Cutlass 442, and a 68 Mercury Park Lane with the optional wood siding on the car. Imitation
Oh, wow.
wood.
That's got to be really hard to find.
Yeah, it was called yacht paneling.
Uh-huh.
It's one of, they made 215 of those, and there's only 15 that are known to exist.
We're going to see a model of that?
Maybe.
I hear you. No, we don't give away any secrets.
Yeah. Well, nowadays it's kind of hard to do stuff from scratch. You know, the hobby isn't what it used to be, where everything sold and there was a huge collector market. Everything's kind of consolidating as people are getting older. And,
You think that's good?
no, I don't.
Yeah.
It's bad because we can't afford. You have to make so many as a minimum that we just can't do
So you
certain
got to
things.
recoup costs.
Yeah, that we'd like to.
So you've got a selection here. Is there anything here you're particularly excited about?
Not really. The March show is generally bigger than the October show for 1/43rd scale, which is our specialty. So we just brought an assortment of some different things. We have for the serious collectors, the high-end stuff, the Motor Cities, and then for the entry-level medium price, we have the resin cars that are kind of taking over the market. They're priced fairly and get a lot of detail for the money. And then just, you know, some other collectors'
Little bit of
items
memorabilia
for the auto collector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if somebody that's watching wants to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you?
They can go to our website, which is www.route66model
Yeah.
car.
We'll put that on the screen.
.com.
Yeah.
Or they can call us at 708-246-1543 and text as well.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something. Buzz and I have done a lot of business over the years. He's a great guy to do business. I just recommend him highly. He's one of the pillars of the hobby. And so it's been great spending
Thank
some
you,
time
John.
with you, Buzz.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
So the serious collectors come in at 7:30. At 10 o'clock, the doors open for general admission, and that's when we get the crowd. The show is billed as a toys and collectibles show, but there's a very heavy emphasis on scale model cars. There's a wide selection, and the crowd was a little light this year, but still a good number of people there. The vendors were fairly happy from everyone I talked to. Tom Dernberger was there with his excellent selection of GLMs. He had some promos, some other models as well. We saw Greg Gunn with his usual assortment of really great models. A few collections he had on sale, too. Very interesting. And we got to spend a few minutes with Jim Cowan of Automodello.
Hi, we're here at the Countryside Toy and Collector Show, October. We've had a good day and we've had a lot of fun. But I'm here with Jim Cowan from Automodello. Jim, thanks for spending some time with us.
You're welcome, John.
Now, how long has Automodello been in business?
We've been doing this since 2010. And the way we got started is I have a consulting business that works with faith-based nonprofits, and they didn't want to see me in the fourth quarter. So I was on forced retirement as a result. So I started with a retail store online.
Hmm.
And then through that, I met Rafi Manassian, who
And
used to,
Rafi is legendary.
right,
Yeah.
used to be creative director for Franklin Mint.
Hmm.
And as a result, we became partners in this business.
Wow, fantastic. What was your first model?
The TBR, it was originally a TBR. We were going to do that. We couldn't get, they wanted outrageous
Hmm.
licensing, so we switched to the Griffith Series 200.
Amazing. So, and that was 143rd.
Correct.
Now you've branched out. You've moved into other scales, haven't
So
you?
Rafi convinced me in 2011 to move to 124th.
Hmm.
As a collector, I only collected images. I didn't care what the scale was. So it took me years to really understand that the 143rd collector, a lot of them just did 143rd, a lot of them just did 124th.
Yeah.
Whereas I would collect, if I could find it, I would buy it.
Yeah.
So,
We all have different motivations, though, don't we?
right.
Yeah.
But we got into 124th. We dabbled once or twice in 112th, but I'll never go back there again.
So you got into 124th when the mints were getting out.
They weren't, well, when I got in, both Danbury and Franklin,
Hmm.
and then I don't remember what the order was, but Danbury went first, I believe, and then Franklin or vice versa.
Yeah.
So I used to joke we had 1/10 of 1% of the market.
Now
Now we
you
got
got
100%.
You got it all.
One.
Yeah, I love that. So you're kind of keeping the scale alive, and you've done some
Yeah.
really neat stuff.
Well, one of the reasons we got a lot of grief from our dealers at the time when we did the 66 7-liter. They said, oh, it's such a pedestrian car. It's been done as promos.
Yeah.
But what I found is that I wanted to show the community that we were committed to the scale of 124.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of people buy 124. They didn't make that many 7-liters to begin with.
Yeah.
But people had a 352, they had a 390.
Yeah.
Although the best I ever got as a comment on the car is some guy wrote and said, I don't remember the car, but I remember the rear seat headliner.
You gotta love that. So you've got a bunch of stuff here on display. What do you have that's new that you can show us?
So we're coming out with probably first quarter the 1969 Isso Griffo.
Now this is a hybrid car, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was a Chevy Corvette 327 with an Italian body.
So hybrid back then was a whole different thing. It was big V8 American engines and European chassis.
Correct. So before that, we did the Fiero.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I know a lot of people mention that, well, why, of all the Pontiacs, why would you do a Fiero? We tend to do cars that haven't been done before.
Yeah.
And the Fiero had never been done. Same thing with the Buick Skylark.
Yeah.
Danbury had done the 53, several colors, but we only did, we did the 54 that had never been done.
Yeah. And a magnificent model, too. The great thing about the Fiero that you picked was that was the model that they got right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
the
they
right
canceled
suspension and everything. Then they stopped making them.
Same thing with the Elante. They got it right.
Yeah. 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 Amen. So what do you got coming that you're excited about?
So
Can you talk about it?
We changed some of our policies. Right now, anything we announced previously, like the ISO, we're coming out with a 69 Kingswood Estate in 124th.
Oh, wow.
But we have two other 143rds coming. People have asked me, am I still committed to 143rd? Yes, we're still going to bring out 143rds.
Yeah.
But we choose our subjects. But what I found is the collectors got tired. If you announce a car and it doesn't show up for 2 or 3 years,
People forget about it.
people forget about it or they get annoyed.
Yeah.
So now we've taken the approach, especially with all the supply chain issues, is we don't announce it until it's sitting in our warehouse.
Yeah.
And that's when we announce it.
And there are certain hazards with announcing too far ahead of time.
Right.
The nature of the business and people pirating stuff and that sort of thing. So
Well, it's
that
to
makes a
avoid
lot
the
of sense.
pirates as well.
Yeah. So, Jim, it's all fascinating. How can we find you?
So we essentially have 3 venues. You can do it. You can find, if you want to pre-order anything, it will always show up on automodello.com first. We took the approach about 4 years ago now with respect to 124th. We terminated the dealer channel in 124th. So you can only buy the 124 from Automodello. Once a product is released, you can also get it from Dichasm and a select number of dealers at this point. They're handpicked. And then the third venue is we do eBay under Dichasm
Okay. So
as well.
we can find you on eBay by
Right.
searching Diecast.
Correct.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, we appreciate the time you spent with us. And, we'll give you all this information right there on the screen so you can find these models. And if you need to, can they email you?
Yeah, if they send an email to dichasm at Gmail, they can get to
Great.
me.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
One of the great advantages of being at the show is being able to see everybody face to face, people you normally interact with on the forums or on social media. There's John Merritt talking to Tom Dernberger about the hobby and getting to share our passion and have some excellent time together. Another one of the great things about the weekends is sometimes the wives show up. Here's Julie Morrison helping us out in the booth, and she was a major factor throughout the weekend. Very pleasant, had a good time, helped us out, and Kelly's been to the show several times. I think it's really great to be able to share the weekend with your wife. So somewhere around 1:30 or so, the crowd begins to thin out, and we begin packing up at 2 o'clock. We begin tear down in earnest. Once again, we had a lot of help. It was a really great weekend, starting Friday, going through Saturday, and just being able to see everybody and have such a great time at the museums. We're going to do it again in March, so keep your eyes open. There'll be a lot of news we have for that as well. So just before we left, we got a chance to talk to a few people that attended the show with us.
Okay, so here we are at the end of the Countryside Toy Collectors Show in October of 2023. And I got Rob and Julie Morrison with us. And this was your inaugural show, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and they have been instrumental in helping us man the Forum 43 hospitality booth. But you guys were with us all weekend. So what did you think?
I was very impressed.
Mhm.
I think all the members here, I enjoyed meeting all the members, and they made us feel very welcome, and I really enjoy that. I learned a lot more about the hobby that I didn't know. If there's anyone out there who's thinking of considering joining the BCC club, I think it's a very worthwhile thing for them to do, and I think they'd really enjoy it.
Yeah. Now, you guys came as a couple, and I'm absolutely thrilled. Normally, my wife comes as well. She couldn't make it. What did you think?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It was really interesting to listen to everybody's stories and to relive their memories through their eyes when they were looking at the different models.
Oh, cool, cool. So what was the high point of the weekend for either of you?
Gosh, there were many.
There were too many to pick a choice one.
Yeah.
It
So,
was a great weekend.
It's just been a good time, and we really appreciate the opportunity to get to know you. We certainly appreciate all the help you've given us because, once again, you were instrumental in helping us man the booth. Thank you so much. Going to be back in March?
Oh,
Sure
of
will.
course.
We're going to do it again in March.
Definitely.
Thank you. Okay, here we are again, the end of the Countryside Show, and I am talking to the legendary John Merritt. John, thank you. You spent the entire weekend with us. Was this your first show?
It is, actually. For as many years as I belong, this is the first one I've come to.
Now, you were with us in Allentown a couple years ago.
I was.
And
Yep.
you came to this one. You think you could come back again?
I would love to. Yes,
Yeah.
I will put it on the calendar.
Yeah. What was your high point for the weekend?
Actually, getting to spend time with everybody, knowing, learning more about the people I already met and learning, meeting new people and the hobby and just, experience and getting information. Everyone has a wealth of information to share.
It's neat, isn't it,
So,
when we
yeah,
all
it
get
is.
together and start
So many
putting our
things that
brains
I
together?
didn't know
Yeah.
that I know now, and
Yeah.
so
So,
great.
so now I understand you had a limit on the number of models that you were going to buy this weekend, and I've heard rumors that it was less than 200. Is that true?
It was less than 200.
Yeah, we won't tell your family.
Thanks.
So, did you have a good time? You get some good buys?
I hope so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long
I'm
a drive?
pleased with very much of them.
How long a
So-
drive you got home?
Probably about four and a half hours, I believe.
We appreciate your help in the booth. John helped
No
us in
problem.
the booth as well, and we all had a great time. Thank you so
I did.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.